There's a silent crisis happening inside many spiritual seekers, and you may not even realize you're going through it. It's not just burnout. It's not just emotional fatigue. It's something far deeper, far more hidden, and far more spiritually dangerous. It's spiritual exhaustion, and it can look completely different from physical tiredness. You could still be waking up early, still meditating, still reading your favorite spiritual texts, but inside, something just feels off. It's like your soul is whispering, "I can't keep going like this." And if you ignore these signs, you might find yourself disconnected, confused, and wandering in the spiritual dark, even after awakening. But if you've been feeling strangely numb lately, if your spiritual tools don't work like they used to, or if you feel like the universe has gone quiet, this video might be the mirror you've been needing. Here are 8 strong and unique signs that you are experiencing spiritual exhaustion, and how to recognize them before they drain your light completely. There was a time when your mind felt like a companion on your path. It would raise questions, spark insights, and open doors into hidden truths. You could sit with a thought and let it guide you somewhere new, somewhere meaningful. Your inner voice once had wisdom, but now it feels stuck. Your thoughts don't flow anymore, they spin. You sit in reflection, and instead of finding answers, you find repetition. The same questions, the same doubts, the same scenarios, playing like a broken record in your head. You try to silence them, but the more you push, the louder they echo. It's not that your mind is against you, it's that your mind is tired. Just like the body gets weary from overwork, the mind gets exhausted from too much searching, too much processing, too much trying to decode the invisible. You've been pushing for clarity, and instead, your thoughts have collapsed into loops. This looping isn't failure. It's a pause, a signal that you've reached the edge of what the mind can carry right now. It's your inner self saying, clarity doesn't come from thinking harder, it comes from stepping back. The truth is, the mind isn't meant to solve everything. Some mysteries reveal themselves only when the mind surrenders. And that's what this sign is asking of you. Not to keep chasing thoughts in circles, but to trust that stillness can hold answers too. When you stop wrestling with the loops will loosen. And in that release, the clarity you've been searching for might rise on its own, soft, unexpected, and effortless. Remember how excited you used to be for your spiritual practices. You'd light a candle, take out your journal, shuffle your cards, and it felt like entering a portal. Your practices were sacred moments of alignment, connection, and self-honor. But lately, something's changed. You find yourself skipping your rituals. When you do try to do them, it feels forced. You sit down to meditate, and your mind rebels. You open your journal and stare at the blank page with irritation. You try affirmations and feel like you're lying to yourself. There's no flow anymore, no spark. Worse, you feel guilty about it, like you're betraying your own path. Like you should want to meditate, you should be pulling cards, you should be visualizing your dream life, but all of it feels hollow. Sometimes, you even feel resentful of the very tools that once brought you peace. This is a hard feeling to admit, especially when spirituality has been your anchor. But this isn't rebellion. This is your spirit signaling burnout. Spiritual exhaustion makes even the most sacred practices feel like burdens. It's not because you don't love your path. It's because you've been trying to maintain a spiritual routine on an empty soul. When the soul is overwhelmed and undernourished, even the light becomes heavy. This resentment is a sign that your practices have turned into pressure. You've unconsciously started performing spirituality instead of living it. You're not supposed to check off alignment like a to-do list. You're supposed to rest in it. So, what's the solution? Permission. Permission to not perform. Permission to pause your rituals without guilt. Permission to breathe and exist without always needing to heal. Sometimes, the most spiritual thing you can do is sit with yourself in silence, without expectation. No crystals, no mantras, no techniques. Just you and your breath. Your path will still be there when you return. But for now, maybe your practice needs to become this, doing nothing at all, and letting that be enough. For most of your life, intuition has felt like second nature. You just knew. A quiet whisper, a gut pull, a sudden dream, and it was right, again and again. But lately, something strange is happening. The clarity you once had feels blurred. You reach for your inner voice, and instead of answers, you're met with fog. It's not that your intuition has gone silent. It's that it has shifted frequencies, and right now, you haven't caught up to the new channel. Think of it like tuning into an old radio. You've always picked up the signal easily, but suddenly, the station moved. You keep twisting the dial, but all you hear is static. It's not because the broadcast stopped. It's because you're still listening on yesterday's wavelength. That's what spiritual exhaustion does. It nudges your intuition into higher bandwidths, but leaves you trying to hear with your old equipment. And here's the part most people miss. This disconnect is not a failure. It's an initiation. Your old intuition was built to serve the person you used to be. Now, as your energy evolves, the messages can no longer come through the same way. The inner nudges you used to feel are being upgraded into something larger. But until you learn to sit still, empty out, and recalibrate, it feels like silence. This is why second-guessing creeps in, why your dreams feel scattered, why your inner compass seems broken. It isn't broken. It's shedding its old skin, just like a snake goes blind when it's about to shed. Your spiritual sight clouds before it clears into something sharper. So, instead of panicking, see this pause as proof that your intuition is expanding. Stop forcing signs. Stop begging for confirmation. Allow yourself to detox from other people's energies, unplug from the constant seeking, and simply be. When you stop trying to hear the old frequency, the new one will tune itself in, and you'll realize your intuition never left you. It's just been waiting for you to rise to its level. You've done so much inner work. You've faced your shadow, healed old wounds, practiced presence, let go of toxic patterns. You've grown in ways others can't even see. And yet, you can't shake the feeling that you're somehow behind. Behind other spiritual people. Behind some invisible timeline. Behind your own expectations. You see someone talking about their quantum leap or a post about instant manifestations, and you feel this sinking voice whisper, "Why not me?" You tell yourself to stay grounded. You try to be patient, but deep down it itches, not because you're jealous, but because you feel like you've been doing the work, and the breakthroughs still haven't come. This feeling is one of the most toxic symptoms of spiritual exhaustion. It makes you believe your progress isn't real, just because it isn't dramatic. But here's the truth. Spiritual growth doesn't always look like ascension. Sometimes it looks like integration. And that part is invisible. Feeling like you're behind is a sign you're over-comparing and under-celebrating. It means your soul hasn't had the space to fully absorb what it's already been through. You've gone through transformation after transformation without stopping to honor any of it. Your spiritual fatigue is being mistaken for spiritual failure. And the more you push to catch up, the further you exhaust your spirit. What if, just for a moment, you drop the illusion of the timeline? What if you believe that your pace is perfect for your path? You are not behind. You are in the pause between waves. The space where everything inside you is catching up to the truth you've already seen. Don't mistake stillness for failure. Don't mistake fatigue for regression. You're not off path. You're not being punished. You're integrating at a soul level. And that takes more energy than you realize. So give yourself permission to go slow, to not rush your awakening, to not compare your journey to anyone else's. because you're exactly where you're meant to be, and the universe hasn't forgotten you. It's a bizarre contradiction. You step into a room and immediately feel the heaviness, the buzzing, the undercurrents no one else notices. Crowds overwhelm you, loud sounds rattle your nervous system, and even scrolling your phone feels like wading through static. But at the same time, you feel strangely distant from your own emotions, like you're present but not participating. Someone laughs, and you don't fully feel it. Someone cries, and your heart doesn't rush to respond the way it used to. This isn't coldness, and it isn't apathy. It's your soul's emergency protocol. When your system takes in too much, it creates a buffer, almost like looking at life through a pane of glass. It's not that you don't care. It's that your spirit is protecting you from drowning in an ocean of energy that isn't yours. This paradox, hypersensitivity mixed with numb detachment, is not a flaw, it's a survival strategy. Your inner being is signaling, pause, retreat, recalibrate, and until you honor that, you'll keep bouncing between overload and emotional emptiness. The key isn't to force yourself to feel more or raise your vibe. It's to gently step back, give your senses room to breathe, and let the glass dissolve on its own. When your energy system rebalances, you'll not only feel again, you'll feel more clearly than ever. There was a time when stillness felt like medicine. Meditation calmed you, quiet moments gave you clarity, and silence felt like the natural language of your soul. But now, when everything goes quiet, you feel restless, anxious, even uneasy. Instead of hearing your inner guidance, the silence feels empty, like static pressing in. This shift is one of the subtler signs of spiritual exhaustion. When your energy is overworked, silence stops being restorative and starts feeling like confrontation. You're not actually afraid of quiet. You're afraid of what might surface in that quiet. All the unprocessed emotions, all the energetic clutter you've absorbed, rush forward the moment there's no noise to cover them. That's why you may find yourself avoiding stillness, keeping music on, filling space with conversations, or numbing with endless scrolling. It's not laziness, it's protection. Your spirit knows it's carrying too much, so it distracts you from the silence that would force everything to bubble up. The way through isn't to force long meditations or retreat into strict silence. It's to meet quiet in small, manageable doses. 5 minutes of breath, a gentle walk without headphones, a moment of noticing your heartbeat before sleep. Over time, silence will stop feeling like a confrontation and return to what it really is: the space where your soul remembers how to breathe. Spiritual exhaustion doesn't only show up in your mind, it rewrites your body's schedule. You may suddenly find yourself exhausted in the middle of the day for no reason, then wide awake deep into the night. Or you might swing between bursts of hyperfocus and periods where you can't bring yourself to move at all. This isn't laziness or poor discipline. It's your body recalibrating under spiritual strain. When your energy field is overloaded, your nervous system tries to adapt by breaking free from normal rhythms. You're no longer syncing with the clock on the wall, you're syncing with your soul's attempt to reset itself. That's why forcing yourself into rigid routines only makes the exhaustion worse. Your spirit is asking for cycles of rest that don't always make sense to your logical mind. Sometimes you'll need stillness at noon. Sometimes you'll need motion at midnight. Honoring this strange rhythm doesn't mean you're falling apart. It means you're listening to what your system truly needs. The paradox is that once you stop resisting these odd cycles, they begin to balance out naturally. Your body isn't broken. It's trying to find a new rhythm, one that matches the deeper transformation your spirit is moving through. This is perhaps the most heartbreaking sign. You've always felt like you had a reason for being here, a light to share, a message to speak, a mission to fulfill. But lately, that fire has dimmed. You still know you're meant for something, but you feel unmotivated, disconnected, or even doubtful of your path. This loss of spiritual direction is not failure. It's a sign of deep soul fatigue. Your purpose hasn't disappeared. It's waiting underneath the layers of pressure, expectations, and energy overload you've taken on. You might feel like giving up, like hiding, like retreating. And maybe that's exactly what your soul needs right now. Not to quit, but to pause, to be held, to reset, to return to your calling from a place of rest, not obligation. Because your true mission was never supposed to drain you. It was meant to awaken you, again and again. When you feel like you've lost your purpose, don't search harder, surrender deeper. Spiritual exhaustion isn't something to fear, it's something to honor, because it only happens to those who have gone deep enough to feel it. And that means you're not at the end, you're just at a turning point, a sacred pause, a spiritual inhale before your next exhale of growth. Let yourself rest, let your soul return. And when you're ready, the universe will still be there, waiting, holding, loving.